The Cowboys are also at 4-2. Of course, they dropped to 4-2 after losing to the Eagles. But I think watching last night was less about what happened on the field, more about what Dallas is as a whole, right? So I think Dak caught a break last night. Not even playing, I think Dak caught a break. Cooper Rush has been playing well, even though, we think Dak's better. There was like legitimate rumblings about a whole, QB controversy, all that, right? And I think Dak is pretty significantly better than Cooper Rush. Now, granted, I think within the scheme of the offense, I don't think the gap is massive. I think just purely talent, I think he's bigger, more athletic, moves a little bit better. I think he's got a little bit bigger of an arm. But, I don't think the gap is Mahomes to whoever his backup is, or Josh Allen to, I don't even know, Chad Henne now? I don't even know who their backup is. Doesn't matter. I think Dak's a top 15 quarterback, somewhere between 12 and 15 probably, but certainly good, right? But I said be careful when you pay him really great money because he's kind of a really average guy, right? You see this with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, right? And I like Kirk Cousins, but when you pay him like he's Patrick Mahomes, but he's actually Kirk Cousins, that's when you get a problem because now you can't surround him with the requisite pieces for him to succeed. And I think the same thing goes down. I think the roster is kind of thin. Right? I love the D-line. I think the backers with Van Der Esch and Parsons are pretty good. Trayvon Diggs is good on the back end. I don't really, trust anybody else outside of that. And outside of those units, I don't really love the team. I don't like the offensive line. I think the backs are kind of overrated. And outside of CeeDee Lamb, who is he throwing the ball to? They're kind of injury prone. I don't think the coach is very good. And I know they're 4-2, and I do think they're a decent team. But right now, as it stands today, aren't they the third best roster in their own division? Even when Dak returns, it'd kind of be a toss-up with New York, I think. But I don't think they're coached to the level that New York is right now. I think Brian Dable's an absolute home run. So I think I'd give the edge to the Giants. We got to be honest about the reality of what the Dallas Cowboys have become. They're the biggest brand. I know we got a lot of people listening to Dallas. It's time to come to terms. Right, we see this with the two biggest brands in the game, actually. The Packers and the Cowboys. We'll get to the Packers later. They beat up on inferior teams, most of them in their own division. It's kind of how it works, right? The Bears and the Lions and the Vikings for the Packers. And then obviously you'll get, the football team, the Commanders now, right? The Bears haven't been very good. I'm sorry, the Bears in the wrong division. The Giants haven't been very good. Even Philly, outside of this last year, they kind of sucked for the last 4 years, right? When Carson Wentz was spiraling down the drain, right? Dak against winning teams, not even playoff teams, right? He's 18-24. 18-24. And here's an interesting stat. Against the winning teams, his passer rating dips by 15%. Right? So it's right there. It's right there in the numbers, right? The Giants, Commanders, Bears, right? Those are the three best teams that Dak is, according to pass rating. Those are his three most favorable opponents. The Giants, the Commanders, and the Bears. Yeah, because they've been historically really bad teams over the last about 10 years. They're awful. And he's 19-4 against them. 19-4. Now look at the ones where he's not quite as good. The Bills, the Patriots, the Colts, the Saints. No, the Jets are somehow in there, but the Dolphins. Right, those are the 5 or 6 teams where he has the lowest pass rating against. Actually, in fact, some other teams in there, his 4 bottom, very, very bottom, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Colts. That's who he's worst against. That's the reality of the Cowboys. Right? This is the exact same thing with the Packers, who are actually circling the drain right now. They just lost to the Jets at home. Sauce Gardner disrespected them on their home field. Tough look. The Packers are 13-4 against the NFC North over the last 3 years. Well, let's look at those last 3 years against winning teams, or what I would deem playoff-level teams, right? For example, the Chargers last year, and they missed it by 2 plays against the Raiders, right? That's a playoff-level team. We're 10-10 in the last 20 games against them in those 3 years. 10-10. Right now, I probably left off some games when I was counting it that you would consider, and then you probably think that I included some games, right? You maybe if you're looking at all, it evens out, right? They're about 500. No, I'm not Greg Cosell or some film junkie, right? Who's been doing it for 35 years. I can't tell you exactly 100% what's wrong with the franchises. But I think it starts from the top down. I think it does. Right? One doesn't even have an owner, which is kind of really weird, right? So in a way, Aaron kind of has too much power, but also he's not really the leader like a Brady or somebody that has the power and is okay with the power and does really constructive things with it. He's just kind of there. Okay, awesome. And then in Dallas, right, you have kind of the reverse. You have an overbearing, honestly, like I'm gonna say it, kind of like an idiot of an owner, where you're like, dude, why are you don't say that? Like, come on, man. Like Cooper Rush has one good game, comes out. There's a quarterback controversy with Cooper Rush and the guy I'm paying $45 million to. Like, we could probably go without that, right? We could probably just. Right, so that caused this stigma and this tension, right? And to be quite frank, I don't think the coach is very good, and I think Dak's talented enough to overcome it. I mean, that's the reality of these franchises. We can sit here and try to make excuses. This player was hurt and Devontae Adams left. Well, Devontae Adams left because Aaron Rodgers took $50 million and there's no money left. So, salary cap league, I can't help you. The Rams just pay everybody, so they can figure it out. Don't be like the Bears who pay safety, linebacker, have a young quarterback, but still can't surround him with any pieces. I mean, that's the reality of those two organizations. One being the biggest brand, probably, the Packers, and one being the biggest market in Dallas. I mean, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Whew, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I just pissed off the entire country.
Yeah.
I mean,